Shame. Shame on you! You'll pay for this. Oh, I've got something in store for you.
Sydney Sweeney has been all over the place lately, popping up in movies like Anyone But You, Immaculate, Madam Web, and of course, Euphoria Season 3 is coming back soon. But there's one project we haven't mentioned yet. A remake of the 1960s cult classic Barbarella is in the works, and Sydney Sweeney is set to star in it. There's already a lot of exciting news about this new movie, so let's dive into everything we know so far. Based on the French comic series by Jean-Claude Forest, the 1968 film Barbarella stars Jane Fonda as the titular space adventurer sent on a risky mission to track down the evil scientist Durand Durand, who's created a weapon that could wipe out humanity. While it might not have been as famous as other sci-fi classics like 2001: A Space Odyssey, Barbarella had a big impact on the genre, shaping science fiction for years to come. When it first came out, critics weren't too impressed, and it didn't make the big bucks producers were hoping for. But over time, Barbarella became a cult classic, gaining a huge following as new generations discovered its campy charm. The film perfectly captured the vibe of the sexual revolution through a sci-fi lens, and it remained a quirky favorite ever since. Now, with a remake in the works and Sydney Sweeney set to star, it looks like Barbarella is getting a modern update. There's been a bit of a news lull on the Barbarella remake, but the latest buzz is that award-winning director Edgar Wright might be in talks to take the helm. While nothing's set in stone yet, reports are saying that the director of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is on the shortlist for this Sydney Sweeney-led project. Given Wright's knack for blending genres in films like Shaun of the Dead and Baby Driver, he could be a great fit for the campy sci-fi vibe of Barbarella. However, Wright's packed schedule might be a hurdle, especially if the project needs to move quickly. According to Deadline, discussions are underway with Wright to direct, and Jane Goldman and Honey Ross are being considered to co-write the script. Wright has shown interest in the project for a while, and even met with Sweeney after the remake was first announced, though he's only committed to exploring it as a potential directing gig. Reviving, remaking, and rebooting Barbarella has been an ongoing effort for decades, and while many attempts have come and gone, the 2022 announcement of this new remake gave it more weight than previous efforts. Despite the slow updates, Sweeney's involvement has kept the excitement alive. One thing is for sure, if this Barbarella remake wants to hit the mark, it'll need to live up to Jane Fonda's iconic portrayal in the original. Fonda's role as Barbarella was a major highlight of her career, and the new version will need to bring that same level of star power to succeed. Right now, Sydney Sweeney is the only big name attached to the project, set to lead as the titular intergalactic hero. With her role as executive producer and her rising star power, Sweeney could attract other big names to join the cast. This could turn the Barbarella remake into a star-studded event after all. When it comes to the Barbarella remake, most of the story will probably draw from the 1968 classic. The original film, where Barbarella is sent by the United Earth government to track down the rogue scientist Durand Durand and his dangerous weapon, had a pretty straightforward plot, but it mainly served as a backdrop for a series of quirky and offbeat adventures. The new remake might stick close to this premise, but it could also take the chance to make a commentary on sexualization in media, reflecting on how the original film approached these themes. The remake might use the character's overt sexualization to provide a modern twist on the campy style of the 1968 version. Until more details come out, though, the specific plot remains unknown. And recently, there's been a fresh take on Barbarella in the comics, which could be an exciting lead-up to Sydney Sweeney's upcoming movie reboot. Dynamite Entertainment is relaunching the character in a new series by Blake Northcott and Anna Morozova. After 7 years, this October's new series aims to bring a dynamic twist to Barbarella's story. The new comic series, announced by Dynamite ahead of the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con, will pick up after Barbarella has saved the world and taken some downtime with her alien pet Vix. However, when issues arise with Earth's oldest space colony, she embarks on a new adventure, meeting some shady characters along the way. The series also promises Barbarella will explore more unexplored planets than ever, which could offer some fresh ideas for the upcoming movie. With space adventures being a well-trodden path in 2024, this new comic series might provide some unique inspirations for the film. While the original Barbarella played on the success of series like Flash Gordon with a more adult and erotic twist, the upcoming movie might dial down on the erotic elements. This change could be due to concerns about it being labeled as a trust trap, and not aligning with a strong storytelling vision. Edgar Wright, known for his excellent storytelling, might shift the focus away from just erotic appeal. If you've seen his film Last Night in Soho, you know he excels at crafting compelling narratives. The movie's plot centers on Eloise, an aspiring fashion designer who becomes obsessed with the 60s only to have her life unravel when she dreams of being transported back to that era. Similarly, films like Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World showcase Wright's knack for blending engaging stories with unique styles. So don't be surprised if the new Barbarella leans more towards strong storytelling rather than just emphasizing eroticism. On the flip side, the new comic launch is a treat for Barbarella fans and anyone into sci-fi adventures. If you're into characters like Flash Gordon, John Carter, Green Lantern, or Adam Strange, this series is definitely worth picking up. The new Barbarella series promises a mix of space-based adventure and cosmic exploration with a blend of humor, sexiness, and wild elements. Blake Northcott brings her own spin while honoring the original creator style. The first issue features an array of vibrant covers by artists like Anna Morozova, Joseph Michael Lisner, Annie Wu, and Richard Pace. Dynamite Entertainment, known for reviving classic pulp heroes like Flash Gordon and the Phantom, continues its tradition with this new Barbarella series. With Sydney Sweeney attached to the remake of the 1968 film, the timing for this comic couldn't be better. Besides Barbarella, Sydney Sweeney is also gearing up for her role in the upcoming thriller Echo Valley, directed by Michael Pearce. This film, which is currently in post-production, will see Sweeney sharing the screen with Julianne Moore and Domhnall Gleeson. In Echo Valley, Sweeney plays Claire, the daughter of Moore's character, Kate Garrett. The film is set to be distributed by Apple TV Plus and is expected to premiere sometime in 2024. And recently, she even gave an update on the possibility of a sequel to Anyone But You. The film, directed by Will Gluck, paired Sweeney with Glenn Powell in a rom-com about a couple pretending to be together to ease wedding tensions in Sydney, Australia. It turned out to be a hit, grossing over $172.3 million worldwide against a $25 million budget in 2023. When asked about a sequel during an interview with E! At the Madame Web premiere, Sweeney kept things under wraps but hinted at potential plans. She mentioned, "I can't actually reveal all of my secrets, but Glenn and I was talking to him this morning, we're talking about stuff. You never know, you'll have to wait and see." And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. What do you think about the upcoming Barbarella remake and Sydney Sweeney's other projects? Are you excited for the new comic series or the potential sequel to Anyone But You? Let us know your thoughts and suggestions for future videos in the comments below.